What's up, guys? It's your girl Matt Cox with MA Couture Crafting, and I am here at Oogie Boogie Night. What? You guys, I did a quilt that is Jane Sassaman inspired, but it's also Madame Mim. So think if you marry Jane Sassaman and Madame Mim. I'm going to put up a picture of Madame Mim, and you can see how this quilt went together. I am obsessed with this style right now, and I've got two more ideas. One that we will probably do before the end of the spooky season, and then another one that'll be for next year. But I am so excited about this process. Now, because this is my first time doing it and I'm not super comfortable with it, I did a little bit here and a little bit there with as far as recording it, but you'll get the gist of how it all comes together. And then of course, I'll show you a picture of the finished project. But thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. And let's check out spooky season here at Disneyland and my Madame Mim inspired quilt. All right, bye-bye.
They may have already been all sold out of my beautiful garments. Happens so frequently as I am everyone's favorite. Something proper to aspire to be like. Powerful. Yes, a true ruler in all forms. Rather than that Princess Aurora, just standing there smiling at all times. What a pity. A true disgrace.
Hello. Oh, I'm doing wonderful. Thank you for asking. I know. It's a wonder what a magic golden flower can do for a person, which is why I am looking for Rapunzel. So if you find her, yes, and tell her I have hazelnut soup waiting for her when she comes home. Exactly, lots of parsnips, right? Have you ever tried hazelnut soup? That is one thing Rapunzel did get right. My hazelnut soup is the best. Ta-ta, dear.
Oh, yes, I know. I dare to crown. I suppose my hair gets me away, though. I am a woman of my own right. Right this way, everyone. Show the world what your hair does.
Remember me, though I have to say goodbye. Remember me.
My friends, try to keep moving, please.
Don't let it make you cry. For even if I'm far away, I hold you in my heart. I sing a secret song to you each night we are apart. Remember me. Though I have to travel far, remember me. Each time you hear a sad guitar, know that I'm with you the only way that I can be. Until you ring my arms again, remember me.
Oh, hello there! Oh, I like your shirt. It's got a cat on it. Oh my goodness, Bob! Oh, you had it first. That's funny. They're copycats. Very smart on puns and games. I do love games. I love games so much. I like to play tic-tac-toe by myself, solitaire by myself. Hello there. Look at you and your...
I'm working on my Madame Mim quilt, and look at that. I just have a little bit more to go. This is taking forever. So I'm working on my Madame Mim quilt. Look at all that sewing that I've just finished. Every single stitch that you see here was sewn, marked and sewn. And of course I did this larger than 36 inches because, you know, I guess I wanted to really challenge myself. So the first thing that I'm going to do after quilting this, putting the background on these two, this one has a background on it too, I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up. I'm going to cut these two down to size using my templates that I have just cut out. The green one's going to be a little bit bigger than the gray one, and they will all layer. And I'm very excited because this means it's like really starting. This took me forever, guys, to do this. It took me so long. So I'm ready to start assembling. So my piece is cut to the dimensions that I wanted wide, which is like 16 and 37 and like a quarter, 37 and 3/4, whatever it was. Now I'm taking my pattern and I'm placing it here at the edge, and I'm just going to cut out these shapes right here with my rotary cutter. I believe I'm going to pin it in place so that it doesn't move, and then going ahead and take out these corners. This is folded in half and this is a mirrored image, so I should be fine with no problems here. I just don't want this guy moving. It looks good. This project is going to be a lot about thread, and this is Connecting Threads 21158, which makes me very happy. It's a cool gray, and it looks like it's going to match really well. Okay, so the idea for this is to line these up beautifully. And now I have a very harsh mark going across the center, but I think that will behoove me in a moment. I think that's going to help me. Because if I line these both up on their center, maybe I will get what I need, top and bottom. Looks like. Looks pretty good. I'm gonna fidget with this a whole bunch, and I'll pin it in place, and then I'm gonna go around this edge and tack it down to the green with a zigzag stitch. What? Yep, with the zigzag stitch. I can't believe this is coming together. This looks gorgeous. I kind of know where it's going. So you guys are probably like, what is this? What? This is not interesting. But it is. It's going somewhere. I don't know if you can see me, but I'm just taking this ruler. You guys know how I like this part of the Creative Grids rulers. So I'm making sure that this is a 1/2 inch all the way around. When it starts to get a little shy, I need to fudge it a little bit, just a hair. And that's how I'm measuring this. All the way around, I'm going to try to keep it a 1/2 inch. Okay, so this is laid out close enough. I'm going to throw some pins in here. I might even put a little tacky glue down for a minute and go around this guy with the zigzag stitch. So exciting. So exciting. I really don't want to disturb this because I've got this really nicely laid out. I might do a little Beau Nash Fuse It powder. I feel like everybody has this powder and they have put their name on it, but I feel like this is the OG. And all you do is sprinkle a little bit on there and then hit it with your iron and it will fuse it down. People definitely base their quilts with it, and I'm thinking I might use it because I really don't want this guy to shift. And sometimes when I use my needles, it kind of shifts a little bit. So I think I'm going to try a little bit of this powder. I think. Still haven't made up my mind about how I want to get it on here and not moving. If I Beau Nash, I can't cut away the back of the green that I'm not using unless I get it really close to the edges, which I probably won't. It will probably mess that up. If I get the glue too close to the edges, now I'm going to gum up my needle. That's gross. So I'm just, these are my dilemmas. I'm thinking it through right now. Okay, I am on my M7 and I am stitching right now at a 3.0 stitch length. And you know what? I get shorter and smaller when I come to down here, like I might stitch at a 1.0. And I'll pull all these threads and clean them up. But I'm letting the zigzag fall off of the applique and then back onto the fabric. And then we'll go off the applique and onto the fabric. And I'm doing that at a super short, the width is 3.0, but the length is a 0.80, 0.75. And I'm working on this corner shape right here. This is taking me so long, but actually I'm kind of getting excited about it. I've been really watching a lot of Jane Sassaman videos, and I think I'm doing it right. So I'm just going to keep going. So I am just working away on this guy. So now we have the corner applique down. We have this big center background applique. And yes, I did sew this down because I wasn't paying attention because it's like 2 o'clock in the morning. And this was tucked under and I just sewed through it. And I was like, am I going to pick it? But look how much I would have had to pick. I was like, not today. And I already knew that I cut this a little bit longer due to the fact that I know that as I'm pushing it and pulling it, I was going to really give those edges, they were just going to be a mess and they were going to be frayed. I should have pinked them, actually. I have a pinking rotary. But anyway, these strips are 1.5, and so I believe the border is going to be 1.5 inches. And this gives me more than 2 inches, even though I cut away some of it, because whatever, right? Now, when Jane Sassaman does her applique, anything that goes on top gets cut away in the back. So in essence, you're really working on just one, you're trying to work for the most part on just one layer. I don't know how I'm going to do that in regards to the applique that I'm going on top of, but this was a lot of work to stitch this background for it to just be covered. So I think I am going to cut all of this, can come out. This whole shape here can come out, and I think I might just do that. There's no reason for me not to. I just need to pull it apart and cut it and take all of this out so that I'm working with less layers, because I'm about to put quite a few layers down in applique and my florals on top. So I think I'm going to do that now. I just need to get a good start. And I'm going to do that by inserting my, trying to see if I can pull it up and pull it away from the other one without damaging it. I think I can with my seam ripper. I'm going to work at this a little bit. I'm going to get down in there and see if I can pull it up, and then I'll cut it away with my duckbill scissors. Okay, so I was able to kind of pull it apart over here on this corner, and now I've got a nice size hole in there. And I can take some scissors and just be sure that I am only cutting what I'm supposed to be cutting, and just take my time and cut away this backing. I'm leaving about 1/4 inch around the sides, and see, you can see in there, there's the level, the other backing. Ooh, technically that's one backing, and then there's another one on top of that one. Yeah, I can cut both of them. I mean, it just takes time. Just don't freak out, because it is a little scary in here. It's a little scary. But I forget there are 3 layers. So I've got the back layer, then we have the lime green layer, which is what I'm looking at now, and then there's the gray layer. And right now I'm just cutting away this super light layer. I might leave the lime green one in there. I don't know. We'll see. So I've just finished cutting off this, and yeah, this is a totally usable piece for something else. I don't know what. And I will put that in the scrap bin, and then I guess I can cut away this lime green too, although I do like how sturdy this is with the lime green. I might just leave that there. I know that I'm going to be asking a lot of my sewing machine, but I don't know. I think I might leave the lime green under there. I'm not sure why. It's not doing anything. I gotta think on that one. Well, I decided to cut away that lime green, but I had forgotten that I had basted around the edges with just some washable school glue, so I can see a little bit of it here, and I had to pull it apart a bit. And I didn't do the best cutting job, but it's definitely going to relieve a whole bunch of this bulk, because those were some serious layers under there. And so now I just need to give it a little ironing and all that kind of stuff. But now we can move on to the good layers, the actual floral part, and all of those need to be sewn down and whatnot too. So that's going to be fun. Still not ready to quilt it yet. Still not ready to put the batting and stuff in. I'm going to try to do as much applique as I can, and the quilting will come in a little later. So a lot has been done, and yet not so much. Still working on the applique on this guy. Each flower has been layered with the color fabrics that are appropriate. Then we've stitched around to make sure that there are no raw edges with a zigzag stitch. You can see the zigzag stitching. Super pretty. Tiny and tedious. Then with some decorative threads, I've given it a little decoration. It's easier to decorate it like that because of the size of this guy. And then we will layer it on top of the background. And this is how I do the decoration. I mark it. I mark it with the pencil first, and then I go on ahead and sew over the pencil lines. This is going to be the first layer that goes on the background. And I'm finished with the flowers for now. I don't think I'm going to add any more to them. They have enough going on, I think. And so I'm going to use, you know, marking tools. I'm really struggling with that. I use this white, where's that white pencil? Here it is. I use this white marking pen by Clover, and it disappears with ironing. It's like a friction, but it's white. And when you draw the line, you don't see it immediately, which is a pain in the patootie. I don't know if I love it. I don't know if it's really going to bleach this fabric. I really don't care if it does, because it'll just give it kind of like a halo. So whatever. I've got my white marking pen here from Solon, which is my favorite, but I didn't have any lead in there at the time, so I went ahead and used this, and that's what you see here. So now I'm just going to sew each piece, and then I'm going to mark the next guy. Now the very background, I used a 1.5 inch mark. Then the one that's on top of it, I used 1/2 inch marks, and this one here I'm using 1 inches. I think that's going to look really pretty layered on top of itself. And then after that, we'll put this on the background and sew it down. We're going to see how that looks. I can't wait to put this down and look at it, because there's not that many pieces, but at the same time, it feels like it's a lot of pieces. So now I'm just going to take my thread and sew on the lines. And I'm using regular 50-weight thread to do this one. I don't want it to super jump out, because this is behind those. They have enough going on. So let's get to it. So now a lot of the applique has been finished, and I'm just laying this out for placement, trying to figure out how I'm going to work it. Those big pink shapes are going to be the first ones to be sewn down, and then I'll go over it with the flowers when I am ready. And so what I think I'm going to do is fold this whole guy in half, hot dog style, and get that straight line, and then come back and lay these things out one more time with everything lined up, and then pin those big pink pieces, and pin them down, and then applique those down, or embroider them down, however you want to put it. And then we'll go through the flowers, and we'll be cooking with gas. Okay, so we have been sewing like Dickens, because this stuff is taking forever. So the applique has gone down for the background applique. So we're building. So there's a layer here, another layer here. It's so much. The back looks beautiful, the way that this is sewn down. We haven't put the batting in yet. Now we are going to build. I didn't embroider or seal these edges because they're going to be covered up anyway. I don't really see the point. The next thing I'm going to do is put down the middle flower. Isn't that pretty? It's so cute. And I'm going to center it, and I'm going to baste it down just a little bit with permanent glue. Just a little bit of this glue, because if you put a big gob on there, you will have some issues. So I'm just going to take a little bit of glue, and I'm going to center this, and I'm going to put this down. I'm going to stitch down all the purple. Then I'm going to take this flower here that's finished and put it down below. And then lastly, the top flower will go up there. And that is going to be probably another day's worth just getting this flower on and that flower on. Then another day putting on the other flower and then the smaller flowers around it. Then we've got another day of quilting. This baby is far from being finished, but I can start to see the progress, so I'm feeling a little better. But this guy is taking me forever. It's quite a work of art though. It's really, really pretty. And then after I finish, I'll go around and get these little stray threads, whatever I can see. No sense in wasting time on what you can't see. All right, I'm going to glue this down and leave it overnight to set with my large clapper on it for some weight. And that will be that. All right. So I'm in dire need of 12 weight threads, and I wanted to be sure I had all the colors that I needed for this quilt that I'm working on. So I called in an order to Sewing Art Center, and if you're near, you can pick up what you need. They will let you come by and pick up. So remember, the whole store is 30% off, and it has been forever. So if you have some sewing needs, I suggest you call Sewing Art Center because everything is 30% off, and it is lovely. And these are my Wonderfill, and I have a special relationship with Wonderfill in the sense that I'm obsessed with them. All of my specialty thread needs, Wonderfill. So I'm working on the Madame Mim quilt still, and this is the back. Now in theory I should have cut away everything that is layered on top so that it's just one flat piece. However, the issue that I'm running into is I was basting these pieces with glue prior to sewing them down, so now I have some spots that are kind of thick and they're not really showing on the front, but they're kind of like, I know they're there. So I'm like, I can feel kind of where they are, but I think I'm just going to have to let that go because I can't pull it apart without damaging all this hard work that I've done. So we are just going to, as they say, not throw a fit and just deal with it. It's okay. And it's time to baste this and quilt it for real, for real. And so the quilting that I'm going to do is I'm going to outline all of these shapes with 12 weight thread, and then I'm going to quilt the piano keys, and then we should be good. The issue is that because this is black and white, I need to have stark white batting, so I went ahead and grabbed some in a package from Hobby Lobby. This isn't a big quilt, so I was able to use a the baby batting size, which is like 40 by 60. Which is more than enough for this. So I'm going to go on ahead and baste this with some glue basting. I'm going to spray the batting with glue, and then I'm just going to lay this on top and iron it down and smooth it out and then get ready to quilt. I'm going to quilt in the piano keys with invisible thread, and I'm going to quilt here with the 12 weight, like we said. And I bought a ton of different 12 weight to quilt with, so that'll be fun. This is actually very purple fabric. It's coming up super blue on camera, but this is how I'm basting it. It's taped down on my table, it's pulled taut, and I'm getting ready to spray my batting, and then I'm going to lay it on here, smooth it out, and put the top on. Okay, I'm still working on Madame Mim, like 50 million years later, and I just want you guys to know that this has actually been quilted. This purple has been quilted, and I'm currently quilting the pink. Can you guys see that? So I'm going around and tracing the edge of this image with 12 weight thread, and I realized it cleans it up a little bit. It's cute. I like it. I like the idea of it, and if I didn't have so much already going on, I would go through and quilt more on top, but I think we're going to just let this piece live with just that quilting at this time.